Welcome, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today. You know, we recently did a shocking show about a program called Pacific Coast Academy. I want you to take a look at this.
Drug abuse, running away from home, run-ins with the law. Parents become desperate to find help for their troubled teens. A brochure for the Pacific Coast Academy seems like the answer to their prayers. A tropical paradise, a kind and loving environment, designed to help your teen get back on track and reach his or her full potential. With promises of education and therapy, eager parents call the Academy, sign a contract, and pay up to $30,000 to get their child help. With the parents' consent, their children are forcefully taken from their homes and board a plane headed for a destination unknown. After traveling almost 5,000 miles, the kids are informed that their parents are sending them to Western Samoa, an island off the coast of New Zealand. Parents have agreed to put their kids in the care of Pacific Coast Academy co-founder Steve Cardasano. Upon their arrival in Samoa, the teens would soon learn that Cardasano's so-called tropical paradise resembled more of a prison camp. For these 6 teens, among many others, their stories of alleged starvation, sexual abuse, and torture would seem unbelievable. It would take video by one of the teens to expose what they say was really the truth.
This is the sign as you enter Pacific Coast Academy immediately after the guard tower. It's a far cry different from what you would be led to believe by the brochure. This is the hut that kids would build for themselves in isolation. These are kids in isolation who are often denied proper medical attention. They suffered from infections, tropical diseases, fungus, boils, mosquito bites, loss of nails, impetigo, and other open wounds. These are the bathrooms. As you can see, they're absolutely disgusting. The urinal, shower, and stall. They were just cleaned also, and they're still revolting. 30 guys had to use these bathrooms, and most of the time the toilets didn't even flush. I think the jungle is actually more sanitary than this. This is the sink. As you can see, there are no pipes for the water to drain out into, so we let it go into the bucket and then we pour it out in the jungle. The water's not filtered and it comes straight from the river. These are other showers that we use. Behind it you can see the river where we did our laundry and also bathed. Sewage was known to leak into that river. This is Amber. She's telling me for the first time her story of abuse.
One day when all of his family was gone at church and working, it was just me and him there, and I didn't have to work because it was Sunday. And he started to sexually abuse me. And
Touching and feeling.
staff's listening and they're calling him Cokie over now.
Don't worry. Don't worry about it.
We did a show a couple weeks ago, and I think a lot of you at home saw it. And it was on this specific issue. And we talked to one of the young men who was there, who actually was able to capture some of the videotape that ended up being part of the reason why a lot of the children were released. But what we didn't get to do on that show is to really go into some of the horrific stories of what teens allegedly were put to. Please welcome Amber, Kurt, Quillen, Duke, and Chase to the show. I'm just going to start with you and you guys jump in. I want to talk about what you did. What do you think you were doing that was so bad that made your parents send you to a place like this to begin with? Let me start with you, Chase.
There's a lot of problems, drugs, and getting in trouble with the law a lot. And it was either get sent, go to a program, or face, you know, some time in jail.
Going to jail. So do you think you needed an intervention of some sort?
Yes, of some sort.
Okay, Duke, how about you?
Drugs, school. I wasn't willing to do anything, some legal problems too.
Legal problems too?
Yeah, but I wasn't open-minded. I didn't want to do anything. I just gave up on myself, basically.
What were you doing that was so bad?
Probation violations,
Probation
truancy.
for what? What were you on probation for?
Just things adding up. Just run-ins with the law all the time, and not listening to my mom, really disrespectful, things like that.
And how about you, Kurt?
Having a hard time in school and drugs.
And drugs? Amber, you?
Running away constantly, being brought home by the police, doing drugs, and just not respecting my mom.
Do you think that what you did was bad enough to warrant the treatment you got when you got to PCA?
No.
None of you? Are you sure? You didn't need a boot camp, somebody with their fist on your back, somebody pushing you down, somebody talking to you, yelling at you, screaming at you, jumping in your face?
No.
Amber, what do you think? What could your mother or father have done for you that would have not sent you to this place, that would have helped you get on the track before we even start talking about the horrific stuff that you went through?
I'm really not too sure. Maybe just try and listen to like where I was coming from the whole time, because I never really got to talk to them about it and tell them how why I started doing what I was doing, and just try and put in a little bit more effort to trying to talk to me and help me by just talking to me instead of sending me away all of a sudden.
And you were sent away a couple of times, were you not? You went to other programs other than this one.
Kind of programs, yes. I was living in a group home for almost 2 years.
And that didn't do anything to help turn you around?
No.
How about you, Duke? You went to other programs too, right?
Yes.
So you went to other programs?
Yes.
That didn't do anything for you?
No, sir. I didn't have the right frame of mind. I wasn't ready to change. And there was nothing my mom could have done to change me, so I needed something, but this wasn't exactly, I didn't need something this extreme, though.
How did you even know you were going to this place? Tell me what happened the night or the morning that you woke up, and the next thing you know, you're taken out of your house. Tell me how you got there.
I got waken up from my bed, and they kind of grabbed me from underneath the arms, and they said, come with us. They didn't even say who they were or if they were taking me to a program. They said, come with us now. There was like about 3 or 4 of them. It took me to a van that was waiting outside, took me to LAX, then flew me to Arizona, and I stayed there for about 4 days. They bought me some food, gave me cigarettes, just gave me stuff that I wanted. Then they moved me to Hawaii. I stayed there for about a couple hours, and then flew to Samoa.
What about you, Duke?
They came in my room at 6:45 in the morning, and I wasn't going to get out of my bed. They said, get up, you're coming with us, and I was just like, how long am I going to be gone? They said, we'll have you back by dinner time. And so I got up. I got up and left, and then next thing you know, I went to Phoenix, Arizona. They kept me there for 2 days, bought me cigarettes, watched movies. They got food, and then they weren't telling me where I was going. See, when I got to Phoenix, then they were just like, all right, minimum time that you'll be there is a week. And then they took me to Samoa, and then they told me I was going to be there a year.
And how long did you end up being there?
Huh?
How long did you end up staying there?
4 months.
4 months. How about you, Chase? How'd they wake you up?
They didn't wake me up. I went willingly because I had seen the brochure.
So you were sold on the plane?
It was like Gilligan's Island.
Hanging out on a tropical island, on the beach. Yeah, buddy, take a look at that brochure. What child wouldn't want to go? Well, I'm going to take a little break, and I'll tell you that what started off as just a dream, by the time they got off that plane in Samoa, it turned into a nightmare. Take a little break. We'll be back right after this.
They take away your clothes, they take away your beds, they take away, hygiene, shoes. You work basically in your boxers.
Parents live in Dana Point, and she hitchhiked from Dana Point all the way about 50 miles up to Redondo Beach to just go to a rave. And we didn't see her for 3 days afterwards. So we figured if Samoa, she wouldn't be able to run away. She wouldn't be able to leave, and we'd not be able to find her.
I underestimated the evil out there.
And why?
I actually didn't send him away because he was bad. I sent him away. It was a gift. It was a gift of love. I felt that the school systems were failing him, and they promised me that the world would open to him. He would learn marine biology. He would get SCUDA certification. He would learn cattle ranching. And I knew that he couldn't get that in any school in the United States.
That's what they told all of us, that our kids were going to go to a beautiful place, to a simple lifestyle. My son Chase has had everything. I liked the idea of him going to a place that wasn't so materialistic. He was going to learn, as Carol said, cattle ranching, scuba diving, sailing, excellent education. It was a beautiful, beautiful setting, and it took me 2 months to decide to send him there.
Before we go any further, please welcome Dr. Michael Connor to the show. Dr. Connor, if I look for a school that is supposed to be accredited, and I see a history of only 3 months, why would I send my child there?
You're desperate. A lot of these parents tried to get help. I know they did. They talked to counselors, doctors, psychologists, school teachers, police officers, and nobody would help and nobody would listen. They look in a magazine and they talk to somebody and they get somebody who gives them time, who tells them exactly what they want to hear. I look at these parents and I go, they're in America. They have no idea what horrors are outside of this country. When you go outside of this country, what you gotta know now, all of you gotta know, is that when you go outside of this country, you gotta ask yourself, why are they outside of this country? And we know this now. Hindsight's golden. You can
Absolutely.
look back and you can say, you know, if Cardizano's involved, pretty much any educational consultant who works in this industry would know exactly what's going on.
Knowledge. Buyer beware. I'm going to take a little break. We'll be back right now.
This holiday season, give the gift that keeps on giving. A dozen ways to Sunday tells 12 extraordinary stories.
So you could take phone numbers back. And then you got back, when you got the phone numbers, you started making calls, correct?
Correct.
Debbie, you started making calls also to other people when you saw that videotape.
Yeah. When Jeff and my husband left the campus with the videotape, the kids were throwing the phone numbers in the car window, too. So he came home with a whole list, and we started calling parents.
And I also got a call from the nurse at the camp.
You got a call from the nurse
Yeah.
who said that your son is really ill. You asked a specific question of her, did you not?
Yeah, I got the call, and she said, Pam, I have to talk to you. And she was whispering, and I said, can you talk? And she said, not now. And I said, can you answer yes and no questions? And she said, yes. And I asked her, is my son in danger? And she said, yes. I asked her for her home number. I called her that evening. She told me what was happening, and I called the embassy.
And then that's how you were.
And that's how we got Chase home, and 3 other kids with Chase, and then we all started calling, the Delanceys and Chase and Curtis. We called all the parents we could call. And we met Carol and Duke and convinced them not to go back.
Mm-hmm. And you were getting ready to go back.
All right, the deal was that I got sent back to America to get my ulnar nerve sewn back together, and then they're going to send me back September 1st. And I wasn't saying anything because I knew my mom right off the bat was just going to think, you know, I didn't want her thinking that I was going to manipulate and do that, and I wanted to spend time with her. You know, I had 2 full months, you know. I got sent back to America June 17th, and I was only supposed to be there till September 1st and then get sent back.
Can you explain something, Dr. Connor, about this? Because all these kids, at that point in time, after a month and a half, are really suffering from the same malady that most POWs suffer from. Yeah, your parents brought you the video camera, but you did not have to take that video camera and put it in the faces of other children and ask the questions that you knew would elicit the response that you got. So you need to be applauded for being strong enough and smart enough to do that. And I said, thank you. Okay? And I'm sorry, I'm never